does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back here today for another game review, another special party game review, and today I'm very excited to check it out. Say what? From Draw Lab Entertainment. This is for 3 to 10 players. Take about 30 minutes to play. It's for ages 14 plus. And inside of Say What? This is a party game in which you are going to be trying to figure out other people's values and what they think is more or least important in their life or in general. And if you're able to do that, you're going to score points. If you can't do that, then you're not going to score points. You're going to take turns being the judge. The first person to get 50 points will win the game. It's a very light, simple party/family style game, despite the fact it says age is 14 plus. Ignore that. But is it good? Let's open it up, and I'll tell you what I think. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Say What? So first and foremost, we have our handy-dandy rule booklet. It is 6 pages, double-sided. It's got a picture here or there, and it's very well done. It should have you up and running in no time at all. And actually, the last page is just how you're going to play the team variant. So in Say What you're trying to do is you're trying to be the first person to get to 50 points. If you can do that, then you'll be the winner of the game. You're going to get to 50 points by successfully laying down your color cards and guessing other people's values, so to speak. So what am I talking about? Let's show you the components, then let's get into gameplay. So first we have the board. It's very simple. I wish the spaces were a little bit larger, especially when you're playing with the larger player count. I did get up to a game that was 8 players in my classroom, and so it did get kind of crowded on some of these spots, and if someone bumps the board, you're like, oh wait, was I here or was I there? So that is a little bit of a nuisance, but I understand they wanted to make a small board, they wanted to make a small box, they wanted to get the price down for the consumer, and I can appreciate that. But that being said, it is somewhat of an annoyance. Next, you're going to get all of these cards right here. And there is a huge stack of these cards. Let's look at the components. How many cards? 108 cards and 216 total words. Some of them are also blank. I even let some of the kids write down their own words. In my classroom, this one's supposed to be coats, if you couldn't guess. Which I do actually like in a game like this. Party games, normally when they include extra cards, I will use those cards. And I actually wish they would have included more of those extra cards, but I'll talk about that maybe later. So how the game works is the first person is going to be the judge. And we'll just pretend we're playing a 3-player game with purple, red, and green. So purple's going to be the judge first, and they are going to get 5 cards set out here. And these are going to be things... normally very important things, and you're going to rank these 5 things on what you think is most or least important. And the other people are going to try and guess how they ranked these 5 things. So let's see. So, apples. Criticism. Music. Toothbrushes. And leisure time. Oh, wow, this is a tough one. So, oh, there's some glare there. So what we're going to do is we're going to set these 5 right down here. So that way we don't have any glare. And then your job is to rank these 5 things from 1 to 5 on which one you like the most. All the while, other people are going to be doing the same thing. So let's just say people start putting stuff down like this and this and this and this. They should probably put it face down, red. They're going to be doing that as well. And at the same time, you are also going to be putting yours down. Now, it does say in the rules you want to be very careful on how you do this. You don't want to be like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because a lot of times people will look at what you're doing, and that will kind of guide them to where they want to put their cards. So really what I ended up doing was I ended up saying in our class, it's just like, hey, if you're the last person to do it, then just play last. Like if you're the judge, play your cards last. Whereas when I did play with adults, it was much easier. But anywho, let's talk about this. So music, apples, leisure time, toothbrush, criticism. Ooh, leisure time and music. Those are my 1 and my 2, but I don't know how to do it. So yeah, I'm gonna go with music. Which one's more important to me? Yeah, I'm gonna go with leisure time. And then I gotta go with music. Yeah. I gotta go with leisure time. Yeah, I'm gonna go with music, leisure time, and then apples, toothbrush. Yeah, toothbrush is super important. Man, I really like criticism, though. Honestly, I like criticism more than like toothbrushes. So there we go there, and we'll go there. So, now what's going to happen is I am going to reveal mine, starting with number 1, and I'm going to explain why I put it there, because that really does make the game better. So, my number 1 was leisure time. Because without leisure time, somebody else ranked 2, somebody else ranked 5, so they would get no points for this. So those parts just go over to the side. But the reason why I put leisure time as number 1 is because obviously I love board games, I love video games, I love movies, I love playing with my kids, and if you didn't have leisure time, you wouldn't have as much time to do those things. So leisure time, easy number 1. For me, number 2 is music. I absolutely adore music. I listen to music all the time. I love music. So yeah, 4 and 4. These people obviously don't know me very well. Then my number 3 was criticism. I think criticism is very, very important. I feel like everyone should be criticized, and I think criticism is a great way to learn about what you're doing wrong. I don't like constructive criticism either. I just like criticism. Just, hey, tell it to me straight. It doesn't have to be constructive about what I could do better. Just tell me what I'm doing crappy, so that way maybe I can figure out how to do it better myself, or if you want to do it constructive, either way. But these 2 people got it correct, so they would both get 1 point. I get no points whatsoever. So when you're the judge, you're not going to score any points. They both are going to get 1 point. And then let's see. For number 4, I put toothbrushes. I put this towards the bottom because honestly, I feel like even if there weren't toothbrushes, they don't get the points. There would be some sort of contraption that would wash your teeth. We would just have like extra strong mouthwash or something. So if toothbrushes went away, I feel like we could manage. And last, I put apples because even though I do love apples, I think they're the least important of these 5 things. So red gets it. Red goes ahead 1 space. And now whoever got the most correct gets to go ahead additional space. So red got 2 of them correct, so they would get to go ahead, boom, 1 space. Now if green got 2 correct as well, then both red and green would get to go ahead 1 space. And then what you do, you're going to collect all the cards, like so. And then if you want, you can either flip these cards over, or you can draw 5 new cards. It doesn't really matter. So if we flip it over, it would be books, challenges, underwear, children, and self-reflection. And the next person is going to do the same thing with the other 2 people, once again trying to guess them. And that's the entire game. You're going to do that over and over again until someone gets to 50 points. In my class, we were actually playing to 25 points because it did shorten the game up a good deal. But that in a nutshell is what you're going to do inside of Say What? Alrighty then, Say What? From Draw Lab Entertainment. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros. Let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, game's not going to be for everybody for a variety of different reasons. It's incredibly light. It's incredibly simple. It is a party/family style game. This is not a game I'm ever going to bust out at game night. Ever. Just period. Now, if you have a lighter game night and maybe you do play some of these style games, then yeah, I think this one will work. But still, I think for most people's game nights, you're going to be able to steer clear of this. Also, the big reason why is there's no strategy whatsoever in this game. It's just, how well do I know the other people? How well do I know their values? And that's it. If you know other people's values well, and you're very familiar with the people at the table, then you're probably going to do well. Whereas if you don't know the people very well at the table, then you're probably not going to do well. A good example is when I did play this with adults. I played this with a bunch of my friends and a new girlfriend, one of my friend's new girlfriends. And she did very poorly because she didn't know us that well. And I mean, that's just the nature of the beast with a type of game like this. Now, you could also say that's a good thing because it's a great way to learn new things about people, but that is something I did want to mention. Also, this is one of those party games where it is essential that you discuss your answers, especially the person being the judge, but also I like it when the other people discuss. It's like, oh, dude, why'd you put that as number 5? And then you give them, like, say, 30 seconds to explain why. You get to know your friends better, you get to talking, you get funny stories and different things like that, different anecdotes, and I really, anecdotes, is it anecdotes or anecdotes? Anecdotes cure you, anecdotes are things you say, but man, they do sound awfully familiar. Anywho, I really do like that aspect of the game. That's my favorite aspect of the game, and I think this game does this extremely well. Any other cons I have of the game? Oh, I wish there were more blank cards. I'm happy with the number of cards. I want to stress that I think 200 and something cards is enough cards. There's 108 and they're double-sided, so 200 and something cards. And I think the cards are pretty well done, but I do wish they had more blank cards because I think blank cards actually open up a lot of different possibilities for the game. And I would love to see a not suitable for work version of this as well, or at least just an expansion, something you could mix in. Maybe the card colors are different so you could easily take them in or take them out, because I think this game is ripe for the pickings for a adult or not suitable for work sort of things as well. So I mean, you got books, children, sex, self-reflection, masturbation, and grandparents. And it's like, all right, where do I rank it? Do I like children more than masturbation? And I think that would make some interesting choices as well, adding some of that more adult stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, there is some things in there like I think alcohol was in there, and I'm sure there's some more that are more adult themed. But I would like some more like really adult themed ones. I think that would make even more interesting choices, which I love interesting choices in games, even in party games. Any other cons I have with this game? Oh, some of the spaces are a little bit small. It does go up to 10 players, which is absolutely freaking outstanding. But some of the spaces are a little bit small, and if you bump the board, pieces are going to go everywhere. That being said, this is the kind of game where, yes, you want to win, and this is definitely a game. This is not one of those ones where it's like, it's more about the experience. No, you want to win, and you care about your points, but not as much as in other games. But that's what I got on the cons. Moving on to the pros, I thought Say What was great. I really enjoyed the game, and this is one I'm going to be keeping. Honestly, I think this is one of the rare party games that I would keep on my shelf and not give to my buddy, who pretty much has all my my party games. I normally give a buddy of mine who I play a lot of party games with my party games, but I think this is one that I actually like so much that I would keep on my shelf and I would play enough because... but I'm actually going to keep it in my classroom instead. But either way, I'm keeping the game. I think it's great, and I absolutely can recommend it to you if you're in the market for a light, simple, party-style, family-style, getting-to-know-you type of game. So what did I like about the game? First and foremost, it makes interesting choices. It really does. Like, having to decide between some of these is really hard, and it will cause you to do some real thinking, like, oh, man, which one of these is more important to me? And I also love how it shows other people's values, like, really well. Like... I'm sure for some people, toothbrush would have been number 1. But for me, I'm like, not a number 4, whatever. Because I feel like a toothbrush could be easily replaced by some other sort of contraption that we could come up with. But, somebody else might read into that question in an entirely different way, and it's fun to hear other people's answers. I really like that aspect. Also, it says ages 14 plus in the box. Stupid box. That is completely wrong. I played it with the kids in my class, I think as young as 7. They had no problems with this game. I did have to take out some cards here and there because it's like, do you really have an opinion on the government or different things like that? But for the most part, this game went over really, really well in my classroom, and the kids loved this game. We went to 25 points. They're like, can we go to 50 points? It's like, no, we're going to keep it at 25. I'm going to leave you wanting more. But they really liked the game a lot. All the kids that I played it with, which I think was probably about 12 kids? Because, I mean, that's the other thing that I love about this game. Love about this game is it accommodates up to 10 players, and it accommodates 10 players really stinking well. Because it's, it's all simultaneous. It's like, all right, here's the 5 cards. Here's Greg. Where do you think Greg would rank these cards? Then everybody is just kind of like, well, this and this and this and this and this. And so I think if you have a large group of friends who get together to play games, this is definitely one you might want to consider adding to your collection because I really did like it. I did mention the cons. It can fall flat if people don't explain their answers, and that did happen with some of the kids. All the adults I played with, luckily enough, were able to explain their answers, because I did mention explain your answers, but sometimes the kids didn't want to, and that does make their rounds fall flat. So if you have too many people like that, that could sour the game a little bit. But in the end, Say What? Easy to learn, easy to teach, family game, party game, lots of cards, some cards that you can write your stuff in there. Nice, small, compact, portable. I think all those words are the same thing, so that was really redundant, and I don't know why I'm still talking about it and shining a light on my inadequacies. But still, in the end, Say What? I think it's great. Definitely recommend this one. I will be keeping this one, and I don't foresee this one leaving my collection at any point. I feel like this is one of those rare games because of its size, because of its large player count, and because of the fact that I call it like a chameleon game. I can play this with adults, I can play this with kids, I can play this with just about anybody except for game night crowd, and have a lot of fun with it. I also think this is, I'm really excited to bring this to the youth retreat where I work with the kids, because I think teenagers would absolutely love this game. Yeah, oh man, I really like Say What. I think it's a great game. Definitely recommend this one. Go check it out if it looks like it might be your cup of tea. If you enjoyed this review, please try to click on that subscribe button down below. If you want to support the channel, click down on that Amazon link in the show notes. Buy anything on Amazon at any time, even 11:23 a.m. And it'll throw a couple pennies my way. It really does help support the channel. And in the comments below, let me know, what is your go-to chameleon game? So what is that game that no matter what the crowd is, for the most part, the game is probably going to go over well? Now, I did call this a chameleon game, but I'd say it's a chameleon-like game, because I still can't play it on game night. For me personally, this is a tough one. It's a real tough one. I'm going to go with, oh gosh, this is really hard, because I have a lot of them, because that's my favorite type of game, is a game that can play a lot of different crowds. I'm going to go with Cash and Guns, I think. Maybe Cash and Guns. No, not Cash and Guns. Man, This is hard. You know what? I'm just going to go with Cash and Guns, so this part doesn't linger, but I'm not completely satisfied with... You know what? It's Get Bit. It's Get Bit. Definitely Get Bit. Especially if you got the expansion that gives it up, I think, up to 6 players. I don't have that expansion, but it'd be nice if it did. But Get Bit. I can play that with the youngest kids. I can play that with a 4-year-old, no problem. I can play that in a social type situation. It's definitely going to get people interested in the game. It's very light, very simple. And I can also play that at game night as a lightweight filler game. So Get Bit. My ultimate chameleon game. But what is your ultimate chameleon game? The game that you can bust out just about any situation. It's going to go over well. As always, thanks for your time, YouTube.